Welcome to Soccer as You Like It, the Man United direction. As you can see, I am not Tim, the tool man. I am Joe, the soul man. All right. We want to thank Vim, the engineer, for
Engineer.
joining us. Just threw
Well,
it out.
I'll be the engineer today.
I just threw it out, man. I was like, wait, what's Vim again? I don't have the script, clearly.
Uh,
Right. Uh, uh, Thank you, Vin, for joining us today.
mhm.
Today, we are talking about the acquisition of our new manager, Mr. Ruben Amorim, from Sporting Lisbon, right?
Yep, yep.
Sporting.
Sporting
And
Lisbon.
his first game against
Mm.
Ipswich, town of Ipswichshire. I would imagine
Ipswichshire.
that's the village or the county that Ipswich belongs in. Right? Yes, I know I'm taking a bit of a piss, but it is what it is. All right.
It belongs to Suffolk, actually. Ipswich is in Suffolk County.
Suffolk
Yeah,
County.
yeah.
Okay. Very, very
Suffolk.
Suffolk County, another very Robin Hood type
Yeah.
town. Yeah, yeah, love it. I love it. I love that there's an actual place on the planet that is like some Game of Thronesy adjacent
Yeah.
places. So, Manchester United won, Ipswich Town won.
Mm.
Um, I'm gonna just go off the bat. Were you happy with the results compared to what you expected today?
I with Ipswich, you hear a lot of good things about them. They're a really good team, and they're managed by someone that used to work under Ollie. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Yeah, yeah,
Clearly, very clearly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's mostly a squad of championship players that have come up into the Premier League. So I thought with the squad that we have assembled all these years ago, from all these years, that we would have assembled a fairly good squad that could quite easily handle a championship squad. But they look like the better team today. Um, and it was a nice surprise to see Ahmed make that run down on the right hand side and you know put in a perfect cross for Rashford to get his tap onto. Um, but that was it really. Apart from that, I think that we kind of really lost the battle in the first half. So I wasn't happy with the score because better opposition would have put that game to bed. They would have had a better finishes and they would have put the chances away. I mean, Anana did make some great saves, but I think there's a striker, a good striker would have probably put that away. The first one where
Yeah.
it was shot straight at Anana. And I think better opposition probably would have buried us. So it was a good to it's a good test for Amrim because he sees what he's got to work with. He's only had 2 days of training with them. So we should have won that game, really. I mean, considering the value of our squad. What do you reckon?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the things that you said was exactly spot on. That's exactly what I saw as well. Um, there were instances, right, where I felt like this team, we had enough professionals in which we felt like we should have been able to just see this game out, right? It's disappointing that Onana basically kept us in a position who I would call man of the match. Onana kept us in a position to see and win this game.
Mm,
And I kind of felt like his outfield players let him down. You know, this he had multiple saves in
mm,
which those normally is an Onana. Yeah, yeah, we didn't think he's going to stop that. Yeah, you say
yeah,
that like that one opportunity where it was shot at him. It really
yeah.
was almost. It wasn't that it came at his torso. It would have been one
He
thing if it
did.
came at
He
his
did
torso.
this. He kind of like did a
Yes,
star jump.
yeah,
Yeah,
he had to put his arm out,
yeah.
right? And he
Which is
put
good
he
keeping.
could he did this, but he could have done this.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, we got to give him definitely credit for that. Welcome to the pod, Bems. What does Tim call you? The disappointed,
The
the
happy
angry
one.
one,
The happy one.
the happiest, the
Controversial one.
happiest,
Nah,
the
the
controversial.
controversial
Yes,
one.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Welcome to the chat.
Vim says the
Bems,
happy
the
one.
controversial.
uh,
You're
I wish I was
glitching,
the happy one.
Bims.
Man,
Yeah,
I
what
don't
is
know
going
Hey,
on?
what's up with my I
You-
don't know what's up with my camera today, man. You
Bems
know
is
what
in
I,
the
it,
multiverse.
it
This
reminds
is
me of that
AI
cartoon
Bems.
character. Yeah,
yeah.
This
this is
is
AI
AI
Bims.
Bems. He's not real.
It's AI BIMs. That's funny. I was actually thinking about joining with my phone for video and then use here for the audio. So I might add myself again to this
Wait,
No,
thing.
I like the glitchy Bims actually. It's quite good.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
you like it?
Something
It's
different. Yeah,
fine.
It's
yeah,
fine? Okay, okay.
yeah.
It's I. It might have something to do with the background, but yeah,
Oh, the
it just
background? Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Try switching the
But
background. Maybe that'll help.
mm,
The background.
Or
Let me see.
or unplugging or like
The camera,
deactivate your
right?
camera and
yeah,
activate it again. And then if that doesn't work, unplug the USB cord, plug it back in, let it just
Okay.
reinitialize, and then select the camera.
So I unplugged it and plugged it back in, same thing.
Still
okay.
glitching.
Yeah,
Leave it. Let it
Yeah,
glitch.
maybe.
yeah.
It's fine.
I like
Yeah.
glitch. It's not glitching to the point where it's like, Okay, so the question right now is,
Yeah.
Ken's on his way in. All right, good, good.
Oh yeah,
So the question,
I need Ken, I need Kay, I need all
yeah,
all all of them to come in, man. It's good that Vim's
let's
here,
get the,
so
let's get the chefs in the
I
kitchen.
need all the
All right,
UK
that's what's
guys
up.
here, man. I
Let's
need
go.
Kenny looks
yeah,
serious, man.
yeah,
Kenny looks
yeah, yeah.
serious. Kenny
He
look
looks
like,
serious.
yo, yo. Kenny looked like he's about to tell you the price of the brick is
Yeah.
back up. Oh my god.
So
Okay. Well, wait for his audio. Well,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I
But
don't know
let
if
him
he can
kick
hear
in.
us. It
Yeah.
doesn't even seem like he has earphones on. But the question is, compared to your expectation, how do you compare that to what you saw today
So
at the game?
so for me, I I expected to see an idea, and I saw that idea. I expected to see at least better control of the ball, but I didn't see that. Um, so it was basically the same issues that we've had, the same issues that we saw a lot on the Ten Hag was here in this game. The only difference was the idea was there. You can see the system, but the quality decision making was not there. They, that tells that tells a tale. It tells a tale that I've been saying for a long time. Um, the quality decision making. I mean, you can hear Amorim say in after post match, he basically said it clean to the T. He said the players are trying to do basically the players are trying their hardest to do what I'm telling them to do, but they're not. They're thinking too much. Uh, um, however, he says that the basic things in football that at this level that you shouldn't have to coach that these players were doing. He says you shouldn't have to coach those things. That's a problem. And those are the same things that I've complained about, fans have complained about, the decision making, not being able to keep hold of the ball, losing the ball too quickly, right? He talked about Bruno, that Bruno played closest to the ball, but Bruno always wants to make that long pass, and we don't want that. So he saw that from off the jump. I mean, he saw the fact that we would lose the ball too quickly. Uh, um, and basically, I mean, what he was trying to say was that when ideally in his design that we saw today, when it's when the players are doing what they're supposed to do, that that design or that system should be more attacking than defending. Uh, uh, um. So yeah, that was just some few things. It was I was just happy when with his post match comments, man, because it just aligns with what I've always believed in. So
Thank you for that. Let's bring into the conversation Ken, Mr. Ken, the Fortress. That one I did remember. Mr. Ken, the first question for today is compared to what your expectation of how today's game would have gone, how do you compare that to what actually transpired today?
Yeah, I think looking at the team, I mean, you could say that, you know what, this guy's actually doing what I expected from Ten Hag to do from day one. We can see the way he wants to play, right? You can see the decision making is on point to the T, not leaving Rashford there just because he scored. Previous managers would go, yeah, he scored the only goal, let's just leave him on. Thought, nah, nope, we're gonna take him up. Just like we can see from the TV that it's time for Rashford to come out. You know, Ericsson as well, same thing. You know, you could see that he was struggling in the game. He came off. You know, Bruno, Bam just alluded to the fact that he loves doing the Hollywood passes and the treating the ball like a grenade. He was forced to play very disciplined today, in a disciplined way. And we could see that Bruno's actually capable of doing that. So I saw a lot of positives today that we can take on and build on. And the fact that at the end of the game, the manager was actually not happy. He was really, really not happy. And he called out the things that we've been calling out for a long, long time. Players giving the ball away, and things like that. You know, it's just unfortunate that every manager that has come to manage Man United, for some reason, have left us in a bad state. Whether it's recruitment, whether it's new contracts, the decision making with managers have not been good. And that's why any manager you bring in, I think this guy is going to be the guy for us. I think from what we've seen today, the substitutions, the fact that he tried to win the game in the end, shouting at the players, get forward, get forward. He even mentioned in the post-match interview, he was like, look, towards the end of the game, we should be going forward. Yet we had people passing the ball around the back and, forwards not taking players on. These are the things we've been calling out. So it's great to have a manager that's basically like a fan. You know, that's one thing I remember calling Amorim, and you can see why we've got him because he's that guy that can see what we see, and he calls it out. So the structure was there. We could see that there's a clear identity of how he wants to play football, which is the massive criticism that we had with Ten Hag, where he should have done what he did at Ajax and just try it, just like Amorim's doing now. And this is exactly what Klopp did. When Klopp went to Liverpool, he said, look, I'm going to play my way. And it was very clear that the players were not good enough. That's why he said, look, I'm going to back the players because I know that if I back the players, they're going to expose themselves anyway. Do you know? They're going to expose themselves anyway. And that's what Klopp did. That's what all these managers are. So when you establish a style of play, it will be very, very, very obvious that these players cannot fit into the style and they'll get themselves a transfer. You don't even have to get rid of say you have to. They'll already know that look, I don't fit in here, man. I need to go. Do you know what I mean? So that's what we're doing now. And you're going to see us playing much better. It's just unfortunate that Ugarte was jet lagged today. You know,
I thought keeping Ogata out was a tactical thing because Ogata is his man from Sporting. He knows him very well, it seems like he was trying to test out the other relationship, which was Casemiro. Who else
mm,
started with Casemiro at the back? It
Casemiro,
was
Ericsson,
Ericsson, and
midfield.
I think it felt two older statesmen of our team, who are not going to be around forever. But I think it was almost testing those two out, seeing
yeah,
what defensive cover they could provide, and you could see that didn't really work.
yeah,
But I think with Ugarte, he knows that he's he knows what he's capable of. And Ipswich, being a championship team that's coming to the Premier League, is probably a good place to test out players or combinations that he needs to evaluate over the coming month.
Yeah, but that
So
was a
I think it was
yeah.
tactical, but
Wales is not.
yeah,
He shouldn't. At Old Trafford, yeah, you got the crowd, you're, but
mm,
Ipswich beat Spurs. Let's not, they beat Spurs at
yeah.
White Hart Lane. So they're not any pushovers. They're actually a
No.
decent team.
The other thing as
So,
well, which I was really impressed in seeing, is that we've bought two strikers, or someone who's supposed to be a striker in Xerxes, and we bought Rasmus, who have not really, the finished product. They're young. They're young guys, and I was begging for it for the past couple of years, or past year especially, that we need to get two strikers on and play with a system that allows two strikers to play. And he did that at 65 minutes, which is probably just enough time to go and get a goal in. And it was good to see both come on at the same time, because you could see that the front three really wasn't working well enough. And it was at that point you could see his frustration start to really kick in, because when you've got two strikers on playing up front, the intention is to score and win the game, which is what we're trying to do. Yet our players, like you said, were dithering around, passing the ball, going back left and right, going back, and not hoofing the ball into the box where strikers can get at the end of. And I think that was really driving him up the wall. And you could see how pissed off he was at the end of the game. But we've never had them both on at the same time, right? I don't think.
Yeah. Yes. If I could just bring up what Ken was saying earlier about the manager and the way the game perspired today was due to basically sins of the previous manager, where if you looked at the players that today should have been able to perform to a level that would have gotten us the win, these were not Ten Hag signings. We're talking about the Rashfords. We're talking about Bruno. These are pivotal players in this team. These are pivotal players that the organization has decided should be part of the future, but yet they disappointed.
Can I answer that?
Please do.
So Ten Hag has had 2.5 years to get rid of these players, right? He
can't get rid of those players. You can't put them on.
Wait,
you can't. I'm sorry, Ken. You can't.
So why did he give them a new contract? Who gave them a new contract?
Ken.
Wait. Benz, let him. Benz, hold on. I'm gonna mute you. Okay. All right. The question was to Ken. I'm going to ask Ken to continue.
Yep.
And then right afterwards, Bems, you can go ahead and
So when Ten Hag came, who was Manchester United's captain? Harry Maguire.
I believe it was Harry Maguire, yes.
Harry Maguire. Who made Bruno captain? Ten Hag.
Maguire.
By his style of play, yeah, technically. Yeah,
so in that case, you making him captain means that you've signed him basically, because that's your player now. If you don't trust someone, you won't make him captain. He didn't trust Ronaldo, he got rid of him. He didn't trust Sancho, he got rid of him. The club did not stand in front of Ten Hag to say you're not getting rid of Sancho. They supported him, they backed him. Ronaldo, our biggest legend, the club stood by him. Got rid of him. So this is his players. I don't care what anyone says. Rashford, he could have done the same thing he did to Sancho to Rashford. No. Every man and his dog, let me finish. Every grandma and their cat knew that Rashford was not good enough to be starting for Manchester United Football Club. This clown kept playing. I'm sorry, guys, but Ten Hag is the reason why we're here. You spent over £650 million. And you've left us in a very, very bad state. Where is the structure of it? There is no structure in the team. We don't even have a striker. You paid £72 million for an academy guy from in another club that's never hadn't even played one full season. And this is where we are. We don't have a striker. So what are we saying?
We have strikers, but they're not good strikers.
Exactly. Who
we ain't got
signed them?
world-class
Why why
strikers.
You have
why
to
don't
call
we
these
have?
things out.
But
You
why
have
don't we
players.
have? Why
Managers
do
are
not?
judged by their signings and by the decisions. And I'm sorry, guys. Everything's there for us to see.
Why do? Why don't we have a world class striker?
Why do we have? Okay, out of all the strikers in this world, right? You decide to buy Hoyland for 72 million, 72 million pounds.
But why was Hoyland the choice instead of a striker that you would feel would be good
Babs,
enough? Like,
this
let's say a
guy's
Harry
paid.
Kane
I
or
am not a manager. This guy gets paid 7 million. He got paid 7 million pounds a year out of all the. Look, even
so.
okay.
So, do you feel that Ten
Let
Hag
me explain
felt
this.
that Hoyland was better, was the best striker he could get?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I will explain. So let's just say, let's look at the top strikers in the world. Osimhen,
Uh
Gyökeres,
huh.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They will struggle to
Kane.
when they come to Man United, they will actually struggle. It will take them a period of time to get used to the league and to start scoring goals. We needed someone that could score 20 league goals in the league. 20 league goals in the league. And then he goes and buys Hoyland. Just like he went and bought Anthony. I don't want to be talking about Ten Hag, he's gone, but these are the problems that he's left us with now, where you've got a Highland that's not good enough. Not good enough. That is his signing. You've got players that he's brought in that are not good. I can't even pick one player that I can say, yeah, wow, what a signing from. Can anyone, Vim? I mean, Bems, Joe, can you at least
Okay.
name one player that you go,
Okay.
wow, what a signing?
Can I
Let's
come in?
yes.
Can I
Let's
come in?
pause. Let's pause on that for a second, and then let's let Bams
Okay.
respond.
So I'm sorry, even a fetus, an unborn fetus, knows that you can't blame all this on Erik ten Hag. He does not. Erik ten Hag is not in charge of the negotiation for players, right? The last I checked, right, I know Ten Hag wanted Harry Kane. The club couldn't get it for him. I know Erik ten Hag wanted Cody Gakpo. The club didn't go for him. I know the club wanted Darwin Nunes. Ten Hag wanted Darwin Nunes. The club didn't go for him. And I remember in the striker market, there wasn't a lot of options. The last I checked. When it comes to negotiation for players, like I said, Ten Hag is not the person negotiating for these players. The club is the one doing that. The manager gives his list. He gives them to the club. This is what I want. Mourinho complained about the same issue when he was manager. He complained about giving his list and not getting the players that he exactly wanted. Right? I'm gonna put that aside. Right? So yeah, Hoyland is not the finished article. I knew when Hoyland coming in, everyone knows Hoyland is not Harry Kane. He's a young striker. He's 21. What else you want from a young striker? Tell me a young striker that's 21 in the league that is scoring 25 goals a season right now. Tell me. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Tell me who's doing that right now.
That's why you shouldn't buy him.
No. You keep coming to who bought him. And I'm trying to explain to you that it's not only on Erik ten Hag that bought Erik ten Hag. You should also blame the club. Wait, let me finish. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. You should blame what's his name? Who was the former director of football? You should blame him too.
Woodward.
You should blame Woodward for the signing. You should blame all of them guys. And if you want to blame Ten Hag, please share the blame with all those other guys too, please. Because I'm tired of it's Erik ten Hag. It's always Erik ten Hag. He spent 650 million. That is ignorant analysis of football.
Ignorant.
It's complete ignorance. I'm sorry to say that.
Hold up.
You cannot blame it on. See, Erik ten Hag make bad decisions. I totally agree with you. Erik ten Hag eventually needed to go. I totally agree with you. But if you keep blaming it only on the manager, it tells me that is it that you don't really know how to analyze a football team and how a football team
When did I
is
blame
managed?
Only the manager? When did
That's
I
what
say?
you're saying. You said there's Eric Ten Hag. He spent
Okay,
60 minutes. That's what
let's
you
have a
just said.
pause.
Should we rewind the tape?
That's not what I'm
Should
saying.
we? That's
Okay,
what you
Yeah,
said.
guys,
hold
I
on,
think
hold
we
on,
need to move on from this subject. Yeah.
Pause. Real quick. I do want to, just so we just have an idea of where I want us to get to a point where we're all working off the same level of like reality and facts, right? So, quick question to Ken. Would you say the team is still suffering from administrative sins of the past? Meaning players that have been here prior to managers that have been unsuccessful at the team? That's a quick question to you, Ken. Is the team still suffering from administrative sins of the past, meaning certain players and certain wages that I feel kept managers from getting this team to progress?
Well, if you look at this, right? The team's been badly coached. Let's forget the side. Let's just say, okay, the club, and this is something that I don't get when people say that, oh yeah, you have to blame the clubs and things like, oh, they bought the play. What about the players that Ten Hag was backed to get? Oh, he wanted this person, he didn't get. Well, what can we talk about the Anthony's and all the other? So going back to your question,
I just want an acknowledgement
going back
of
to your question,
whether you
the
feel
team has not been coached. It's clear. Bems, you just said the same thing.
That is not what I asked you.
You just said no, the sins of the past.
So just
I'm
to
talking
come
about
back, right?
Hold on, Ben.
No. I'm coming back on everything he's saying. Amorim, let me say, in Amorim's interview, wait, let me say, in Amorim's interview, Amorim said that Ten Hag, right, outside the top 5 leagues, right, Eric Ten Hag is one of the best
he's gonna
coaches.
say that.
Wait, no. Let me say this. Amorim is not only the first. This is a manager that has not worked with Eric Ten Hag, right? He's not the first that said it, right? He's had coaches, right? Other coaches that have said the same thing about. I'm not saying Eric Ten Hag was the answer for United, but Eric Ten Hag was not a bad coach. He made bad decisions. I will tell you one. Like Amorim, he said in his interview today, he said that basically he needs to enforce his style of play from day one. He said if he doesn't enforce his style of play from day one and tries to change to fit the way the players play, that this time next year we'll have the same issues. Now, the problem Eric Ten Hag made, the big decision that Eric Ten Hag made that was wrong was that he changed his style of play to fit the players from the beginning, because he lost 2 straight games and then he changed. That was the beginning of the downfall, right? So that is because just like every other manager before Eric Ten Hag chose to change the way they played to get results. Eric Ten Hag did. Every other manager before Eric Ten Hag did exactly the same thing. So now, you can't blame a manager for wanting, because he wanted to get results. Because as a United manager, you have to get results. So he was trying to do what he could do to get results, just like every other. But now Amorim is saying, basically, I am going to stick with my style, and it's my responsibility to get these players to understand what I'm trying to tell them. But at the same time, there is lack of quality, which a lot of fans have said the same thing. Even pundits are saying it now, that there is lack of quality in that squad. Yes, Eric Ten Hag bought some of these players, but also there are players that have been in that squad and have got multiple managers sacked.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I blame Ten. You should have got rid of.
You cannot blame. You can't blame only Ten Hag for that. I'm sorry.
He should have got rid of the. Ten Hag.
You cannot. And then I'm only. Then this last thing I'm going to say, right?
Bems.
Wait. This is the last thing I'm going to say.
We're going to wrap it up. So everybody needs to land their plane.
Let me just wrap it up. Mourinho mentioned that there are still a few players that he wanted sold when he was at the club that are still there.
Yes, that
now,
we
now,
agree.
now, a lot of managers have complained about not being able to get rid of players. Van Gaal complained about the same thing. Mourinho complained about the same thing. Ole complained about players, the same thing. Eric Ten Hag had the same issue.
No, but
And
Eric Ten Hag didn't say that.
no. Let me
He did
finish.
not.
Let me finish. No matter how
And
you dress this wound,
you're on
every
caution.
single
You
manager,
actually need to finish.
Okay, I'm finishing now. Every single manager that's been at this club cannot get rid of players because they are on big wages and have been bought for stupid money. You cannot get rid of all these players. It's going to take time. That's it.
Okay,
So then
and Ken,
why? Okay,
Ken,
guys,
you have
this is not about
30
ETH
seconds.
anymore.
let's move on.
This is not about ETH anymore. We should be talking about Ruben.
Yeah, let's talk
get
about
back
Ruben.
on track. It's his
Let's
first
talk
game.
about Ruben.
It should be about Ruben.
Okay, so
My
first
guy,
question about Ruben.
Yeah.
Right? Do we feel that Ruben
too,
can for large slots of the game? I felt like it felt like a counterattacking team. Am I wrong in that assessment? It seemed like
You're
gave
absolutely
them
right, Joe.
a lot of the ball. We gave them plenty of space, even when it came to our half. Do you feel that was the strategy for today? And do you feel that Ruben would be able to implement his style upon the team?
Vim, do you want to go first?
Yes,
I'll come in first. Please. Yeah, because you guys have been throwing the grenade at each other. So I think
Palestine over here.
Yeah, man, Israel Palestine here.
It's called healthy debate. Healthy debate.
No, it's a good debate. It's some stuff that need to be said. So yeah, good.
Yeah,
that's what Israel Palestine.
Exactly. Get you guys around the table and talk it out.
It's all love.
Yeah.
Israel
So the thing is,
okay.
We've been watching our team for God knows how long, too long, and the team has always been set up, or seems to play to the strength of counterattacking. We saw it with Oli days; it was all about counterattacking. With Jose, it was part of the bus. It seems that this team is built to play counterattacking football, and although Ruben set up this system of 3-4-3. Seems the only way that we can get any success is by counterattacking, because they couldn't string together that many passes. And I saw, the second half was much better than the first, but and I don't want to name names, but I have to name a name.
Name them.
Yeah, Xerxes was absolutely terrible. Did you see his one-touch passing? The amount of times he just gave the ball away. I just feel really sorry for that guy, and Rasmus up front as well. I mean, he had his back to the goalkeeper. He received the ball from Bruno or someone else, and he just pings it back and gives it away. When you're in the opposition box, he should be really trying to use his muscle, turn around and get a shot away.
Can I ask a quick question?
They were really bad.
How about Rashford? Was Rashford wasteful?
Rashford disappeared for me after he scored.
Okay, so wait a minute. Quick question. You said that we were better in the second half, and you just called out two substitutions in the second half. So what about the second half did you feel was better?
I think the second half was better. It started off better because we had a bit more possession. Because in the first half, after we scored, we kind of sat back and gave the ball to Ipswich, or let them do their thing and grow into the game. And then we wrestled back some of that possession in the beginning of the second half, and then the substitutions came on, which is the two strikers at the same time, which I was really happy to see. But however, from that point onwards, we just looked like a blunt pencil. We had no penetration whatsoever. I don't think we had we didn't look like a threat at all in the second half. I don't know if you felt the same way, but it just didn't look like we were going to score. So it was a really weird viewing today, and I can feel Ruben's frustration, and I'm so glad he was angry, and I was so glad that he was just, he didn't want to talk to anyone. He was kind of annoyed. You could see his body language, and he doesn't accept that type of result for us that was like a loss, and his body language and his face showed that it was like a loss for him. And I saw some players quite happy with the result, to be honest. And Rashford was one of them. He went up to one of the Ipswich players and was shaking his hand and had a smile on his face. So,
Yeah, he was even
Okay.
hugging
yeah, he was hugging
one
someone.
of our former what was his name? The one of our third choice goalkeepers. What was his name?
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, yeah. He's now one of the coaching staff at Ipswich.
Ipswich. Okay.
What's his name?
Okay.
I forgot it, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
he was like third choice, or he was what
yeah,
at 36 at the time. I just can't remember
yeah,
his name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the momentum, we lost it in that first half after the goal, but we got it back, and we got possession back in the second half, but we just couldn't do anything with it. So yeah, we are a
Okay.
counter-attacking team, unfortunately.
I
These
think
guys don't know how to string together passes.
I think
Okay. Oh, over to you, Bems.
I think I think yeah, that I agree with that. We look like a counterattacking team. I think a lot of it was the players not being able to implement what Amorim wants to do. That's what I think. It's clear Amorim didn't want us to sit back that whole time. It's clear that that there are certain things like the players didn't know where they were supposed to be. He mentioned that. He also said that there are certain he expected Johnny Evans to make some like some movements that he didn't do. So basically, in all, in the second half, we started a little better in the second half because of he basically told the players that whatever conversation had in the dressing room, there was an intent to want to do what he wanted to do, but again, the players just can't do it. The substitutions that came on made a difference, but again, the players cannot do exactly what he wants them to do. In that final third, he wanted the ball to be going into the box to the strikers, and he also said that he wanted the strikers to be making the movements, making those runs for them, for the players to make the cross. So it wasn't just strikers not doing what they're supposed to do. He said the players not getting the ball to the strikers because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. In general, the players are not doing what they're supposed to do. That's
He
basically what he
said
said.
he also said that he thought
That they're trying.
they were trying, but they
Yes.
might be confused.
Yes.
And there
Yeah.
was something else he said as well
Yeah.
about them, which is quite telling.
Yeah. He said that they were confused, like, but that
Oh,
they
they
really
think too
wanted.
much.
Yes,
They
they think
think
too
too
much. Yeah.
much.
He
Yeah.
said that.
Over to you,
It was
Ken.
quite telling. So was
Over to you, Ken.
Right, so I wouldn't worry too much about the counter-attacking system, guys. Yeah, this is the first game. Let me read this stat to you. Mikel Arteta, do you know what his first result was?
A loss, a draw.
Result 1-1,
Mm.
Bournemouth away.
now we'll compare it
Antonio
to Miguel.
Conte.
Who?
Antonio Conte
Hey.
won
A
the league.
draw. Was it a draw?
Chelsea. What was the result?
A draw. 1-1.
Jurgen Klopp.
1-1.
What was the result?
1-1.
So I've named three managers, successful man.
What
Well,
what about
Apart from Arteta.
Real
Let's not
Madrid's?
get carried away.
What was Ancelotti's first game?
Yeah, Ancelotti's first game. What was it? Was it 1-1?
Is it 1-1?
Probably, I don't know. These are facts,
Pep's
right?
first game.
These are facts. Actually, yeah, I
1-1.
think it was a draw as well. It's probably a
That
draw.
was a draw.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Pep's game was
Fergie's-
first game was
It's
1-1.
1-1.
What was
Yeah.
Fergie's first game?
What
Was
was
it draw
Fergie's
too?
first game? Yeah.
So Pep, Conte, Arteta, Klopp. Yeah,
Where did you get this information from?
look it up. I'm
What
Statman
did you?
Ken now. Statman Ken. No, but it's true. I mean, they're actually valid stats. Yeah. So when a manager comes in, especially a manager that wants to play his own style of football, introduce his own style of football, right? Yeah. You're always going to see habits from the previous managers. It's normal. It's normal, right? The main thing is the manager was not happy with what he saw, yeah, and he tried to change it. But we've mentioned two things that he said. The players were confused. They were more concerned about, oh, am I doing what the manager's telling me? They're overthinking things. Am I in the right position? And things like that. Am I making the right decision? There were one or two moments where we tried to string one or two passes. So you could see something work building there, you know. So I think right now like he said, I don't know if you guys heard the post-match interview with Amorim just before he walked away. He said, "I'm not going to do a lot. I'm not going to do a lot of talking this week because I've spent a lot of time talking. Like I said, this week I just want to focus on the players. So we'll see. We'll continue. What we're going to see is a gradual, continuous improvement with this team, and eventually we will see the right team. So I'm not worried that the team itself to play counter attack. Yes, the players. Like I said, this guy will make it so obvious that you can't fit into his system. So when we're buying players, even the players that he wants to get rid of will put their hand up and say, "Yeah, I know this is not for me. Sorry, I need to go now."
So,
That's what I mean. By
so
establishing
what?
a style of play, immediately it exposes people, and then
Yeah. So
yeah,
then that leads on to the Rashford situation, right? Him playing as a number 9. What do you guys think about that? Like, how did it go
No,
for him? Obviously, he scored a goal in the first
Absolutely
minute, which
not.
was
so
lucky.
so
But apart from that,
Rashford was only good
Paper
for
over
2 minutes of the
cracks.
game. He was 2 minutes. He was good for only 2 minutes of the game. That was it.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
apart from 2 minutes, he was done. That was
yep.
it.
And I'm happy he got subbed off as well. That shows that okay, the manager's seen that this guy's not effective, and he's going to get
but
supposed to.
Wait, I want you. Well, okay, you mentioned that earlier in pod, but I do want to mention you because I'm like it's something that's new that Amarin is substituting Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford has been substituted at least the last 5 straight games, and in the 55th to 65th minute, right? And to us, that feels like that's an average time that you would give. It seemed like it's an average time that has not been allotted to other managers. Other managers, it seemed like there had been like it seemed like there's been an obligation to have him play the entire game. The last 3 managers, this actually started with Eric Ten Hag, substituting Marcus Rashford in the 60 to 65th minute. The earliest that I saw was with Ruud Van Nistelrooy, where it was, I believe it was in between the 53rd and 55th minute. It is clear that we've had multiple managers see that this gentleman, right, is not at some point the pizzazz that we count on, that X factor. It seems like that's when they're deciding it's not going to happen. If it hasn't happened in 65 minutes, it's not going to happen for the rest of the game. My thing is, can we have a manager that can see that from minute one and know this is an individual that now needs to start or come into the game with 35 minutes left of the game, not with 90 minutes left of the game?
I think the answer is simple. The answer is wages. I think because Rashford is on 350K a week, every manager has to give him more game time. It's just that simple. They're now seeing that he's not cutting it, right? That's why he's coming off earlier. Ten Hag's first season, he was playing a lot more where as in Rashford had a very good season. The second season is when he gave him the new contract. The beginning of the season, he was playing a lot, but Rashford was useless, right? Towards the ending, he started to take him off earlier and earlier. But again, he's already on 350 grand a week.
Yeah.
He has to play him. So and now you're seeing it under Amorim the first game. I just think the reason why Rashford is playing on the amount of minutes he's playing, or the reason why he's starting, is because of his contract. It's just that simple. My opinion.
but there could be another reason that he's been put there. He's almost been put there like an experiment, because what Gyökeres does for Sporting Lisbon, he effectively is the sole man, the sole scorer, for that team, and he needs a powerful number 9 who's going to harass everyone at the front, track back, assist, and score goals. And it's almost like Rashford. You know what I have in Sporting. I need someone to step up to the plate, and you are the most expensive forward I have, and you're the most senior forward I have. So you've got to now show me you can do something for me like what I've had in Sporting. And if you can't do it, then see you later.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
is there a consensus amongst our guests today that today's lineup was not necessarily what Amorim felt like was the best 11, but it was almost as if like, hey, you guys are the seniors. Here's your audition.
Yep.
I will base what your part has to play. Right. And Ipswich
I agree.
would have been a very excellent team to try that in. Right. As opposed to like maybe Arsenal, where we played this way, we would have been battered 3-1, 3-2. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, we didn't concede that many. Would you say just going through the line, Vim? What would you say?
Definitely audition for everyone. Yeah. And that's why I feel, okay, Ugarte might have been tired because of jet lag or something, but he knows Ugarte very well. I think this was an audition for trying out players into his new system and who's going to fit into that system. I also think that Bruno is not ideal in that front three. I think he plays better in a deeper role because he's like a quarterback for the team. That he's the one that creates the play. I don't think his ideal position is in that front three.
Unfortunately, if you watch enough of American football, that attacking midfielder is exactly what the quarterback is. He's no different than a point guard in basketball.
Point guard. I thought the quarterback is the one that creates something for the team. So, he's the one that he dictates the play and he creates the play and he's the start of the attack. I thought that's what the quarterback does.
That's exactly what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to assess the defense.
Yeah.
And formulate a style that allows the rest of his players to be able to be successful.
So does he call the play though for that specific?
Depends on the team. It depends on the team and it depends on the coaching. Some coaches in American football have the confidence and the trust in their quarterbacks because like
it's mostly
a coach can say, a coach can say, hey, run this play. But they need to have confidence and trust in their quarterback and say, wait a minute, this play you just called? No, they have a defense that's going to shut this down. I'm going to call an audible. I'm going to call a different play. And, the greats can do it. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, right?
Yeah, they did
Eli Manning, Drew Brees.
There was a 10-parter on Tom Brady here running in the BBC. And he had apparently had a great relationship with Belichick. And I don't know who was calling the play, but you could, they have their huddle and Tom Brady says something, gives instruction, and bang, they go and do the play. So I don't know, is Tom Brady calling the shot there as a quarterback or is it Belichick?
No, so the thing is when they go into the huddle, right? So Tom Brady will probably maybe go to the sidelines, talk to Belichick. He's gonna come because Belichick is giving him a play. When he gets into the huddle, now he probably changes it up based on what he's seen in the defense, right? Another play that was good at doing that was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was very good. In fact, he was good at no huddle. He was very good at doing that.
Very good.
Like the greats.
So I think for me, Bruno is the quarterback of this team. That he's the one
that starts
the attack.
He's supposed to
be. Yeah. He's the most creative outlet. I know we know what his problems are. We know that he's got a few deficiencies, but we know also that he can make that killer pass and also dictate the attack or the play that they want to try and achieve. I also feel that he's going to be quite crucial for Ruben because not only is he exporting and he's Portuguese, but Ruben likes to almost have himself on the pitch. And I think he's going to do that through Bruno. And I think Bruno is more effective when he plays a deeper role, not that front three.
If I was to use a basketball analogy, I feel like Bruno is a point guard that only likes to throw alley hoops. Alley hoop is a pass, right, to somebody that's close to the basketball that he's going to catch midair and then dunk it. That's an alley.
Yeah.
It's the most spectacular pass, right? Because it leads, it's showtime. And that's what I feel like
does as well, though.
No, they are very depending on the strategy and depending on the routes that are being run, right? If a receiver runs and does exactly what they're supposed to do, a quarterback can literally just throw the ball in the air without even looking and knowing that guy, there's a system. But the thing with Bruno, it's always, like I said, it's always and one. And one is like a street ball. It's all in. We saw that today.
Direct.
It's always showtime with Bruno.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if that whole Portuguese connection.
But I saw a slightly different Bruno because last season Bruno would be running all over the place. This time he stayed on the right side of that three. Even when the ball was on the left side of the pitch and Garnacho was here and Casemiro was on this side, Bruno stayed far out on that right side and he waited there. He stayed in space. The old Bruno would have come and run in and just, be all over the place. But today he maintained the structure. I don't know if you noticed that. I saw a slight difference in him.
My issue with Bruno is not positioning. My issue with Bruno is losing the ball. Possession.
Yeah. I'm saying we're seeing subtle changes in him. We're seeing subtle changes in him already.
You know what Amorim said about Bruno today? He said Bruno always wants to play the long ball. But he said today Bruno passed the ball, tried to keep the ball, and he looked better. And I totally agreed with him. This is what I mean about this manager. He sees things that we fans see, and he talks about them. That's a sign of a good manager, and I think if Bruno can just keep it simple, just obviously when you get to the final third, you can try to, because there has to be some element of, uncertainty with the final ball to be able to create out of something extraordinary. Because if you try to do all those, the obvious passes, then defenders will read it and get the ball, But when you're deeper, the tendency under Bruno is once someone like Martinez passes the ball to him, he wants to hit it first time over like a diagonal first time ball to whether it's Rashford or Garnacho to pick up and run with. And that's so easy for defenders to defend because all you have to do is stay with the attacker. So once the ball comes, you just take the ball. And that means that lost possession. And that's what Amorim's been saying. We keep losing possession all the time.
We did lose the ball a few times as well, really, in really haphazard ways.
Quite a bit.
Sorry.
Yeah. I got the impression from Amorim that he wasn't happy with those long ball decision making from Bruno.
No, he wasn't.
From his comments, he said today Bruno played close to the ball, which is basically what he likes, like what he wants. But however, he wants to play the long balls, and we indirectly saying he doesn't want that. So and I actually agree with him a little bit. I think it's hard. I actually agree with him a little bit about that, him playing as the like that one of those 210s may not necessarily be his best position. Playing deeper, maybe it might be better for him to drop deep, but the problem is, in my honest opinion, I don't see the best position for Bruno in this team. I don't see how Bruno really fits into this team, in my opinion. The way Amorim wants to play, Bruno will have to change the way he plays to fit into Amorim's team. If he continues to want to make that Hollywood pass, he will not last. It'll always break down the way it will break down the way Amorim wants to play. We'll keep losing the ball. I think eventually, going further, it's gonna be Bruno is a key player that we need to keep our eyes on.
I think Bruno will adapt. I think he will definitely adapt. I don't think he's never thrown a manager under the bus, and all managers have had faith in him. I think he's going to be a key part of Amorim's plan. I really do. I don't think he's thrown anyone under the bus. He tried to save Ten Hag.
I think he has indirectly. He didn't.
I think
Bruno
when
has
you
done it, but not purposely. He just didn't. He was trying too hard for the team, but indirectly.
I think Bruno's done it on the pitch, not in the press conferences.
Yeah.
He's done it on the pitch.
Yeah, he's done it on the pitch a lot.
I still see his effort. Yeah, I mean, we know he gives away the ball, and he does go for these Hollywood passes, which don't always work out. but he
That's the
doesn't
throwing the
down
manager under the
tools.
bus.
Like, look at that's the other thing I want to bring up as well. Luke Shaw
Played
appeared
well.
today after how long? And he looked
I
like
know.
he didn't look like the guy was
Yeah.
unfit.
Yeah.
How
he played well.
how funny is it that first game that Ruben's in charge, this guy looks like a new player unleashed. We haven't seen him for how long? Nearly 2 years or something like that, and then he suddenly appears like a fresh player.
That
You
tells
can
you the
say
quality of Luke Shaw.
the timing.
He's a quality player.
No,
Yeah, but
he's a
where's he
fraud.
been? He's a fraud. Where's he been?
No, I
Listen.
totally agree. I totally agree.
419. That's what we call it in
He's a fraud.
Nigeria.
419 fraud.
419.
All of a sudden, Ten Hag is
fair,
gone.
there's a lot
Now
of frauds
he's
in this
Luke
team.
Shaw
Yeah.
is a Nigerian prince.
yeah.
Okay? And that right now.
He's a serious fraud, complete one.
He's
I
a
totally
fraud.
agree.
Him, Rashford, he's got so many frauds in the team. Yeah, there's a lot of frauds.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? This team cannot possibly go through the next summer window and not look for a left back.
Left back.
in
We
this
have
team.
to. Yeah.
We have to. It's necessary. This is what Ruben's job is, right?
Yep.
Because he's got this 1 year to get this shit right. And I say get it right in the sense of get these crooks out.
Do you know what? Maguire could have come in today and played the blind as well. Maguire could have put in a 7 out of 10.
Listen, if Maguire came in today, Maguire would have scored in that final
probably
corner,
would have
corner
scored. Yeah, he
kick.
probably would have scored the winner. Yeah.
And then just go out like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of frauds in this team.
A lot, man. Okay, let's go through the starting lineup, right? And let's figure out team ratings. All right.
Yeah.
Starting Onana, what would you rate Onana? Vim?
Yeah, he was good today. I'd give him a 9.
9?
Yeah.
Ken?
Well, I was going to say 8, but since you mentioned 9, I'll go for 9. I think he would have been 3-1.
He saved us a loss. Actually.
Yeah,
we would have
He
lost that
saved us,
game.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for the deflection by Mazraoui, I think he would have gotten a hand. Yeah. I don't know if he would have saved it, but he would have gotten a hand to that goal. Bems is preoccupied. So back 3, Mazraoui.
Who, me?
Vim? Yeah, Vim.
I think he did a good job. He did what he's supposed to do. I think I'll give him a 7.
Okay, 7. Real quick, Benz, I know you just came in. We're doing player ratings. We just went through Onana. What's your score for Onana?
Oh man, Onana was superb today, man. I think I'm gonna give him I gotta give that guy 7.5, man. Or even
okay.
Yeah, 7.5.
You gave him a 9.
Or even 7.5, 8. Yeah, for me, right? It's hard for me to give players like 9s and 10s. For me, 7.5, 8, that's really.
Bems hates flowers. That's the problem. He hates flowers. And especially just giving it to people, he particularly hates that. He hates giving looks like he's he's gone. All right, he's on that.
I can hear you guys.
Okay, you can hear us? Okay.
Your video is flickering, by the way.
Ben's glitched out.
Yeah, that's that Sky Network. Anyway, all right. We were on Mazraoui. I personally am gonna give Onana I'm giving him a 9. Like if the goal that you consider was not your fault, a 10 would have been him saving that one. All right, so I'm gonna give him a 9. He did everything that he could. Well, no, you know what? No, let me rephrase that. I'm going to give him an 8.5, right? Because I would give somebody a full point for actually scoring as a goalie or being included in an assist in some way.
But that's a 10 out of 10, isn't it? If he scored the winner, that's a 10 out of 10.
What if he scored, but we still conceded?
As long as we win and he scored, then he has to get...
If we win and he scored, that's a 10.
If he gets the winning goal. If he gets the winning goal, then maybe.
It's a 10. Yeah, automatic 10. Yeah, as a goalkeeper. Mazraoui.
Can you guys hear me?
What do you got? Yes, we can hear you.
Yep.
Man, my computer just went Oh,
It's got a. That's perfect timing.
That's a good freeze frame. Keep that.
That's hilarious.
Do you remember that cartoon Wreck-It Ralph? And
Look at
there's a
Ralph.
little
Yes,
little
yeah, yeah.
female character in there that's always glitching. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. That is like we got two BIMs now.
Yeah,
Okay, here we
yeah.
go. Yeah, he's definitely going on the phone. Yep, that's the phone. Yep. Okay, we are on Mazraoui. All right, I'm gonna give Mazraoui a good,
man.
solid 7.5. Vim,
But I said Mazara, yeah, 7.
yeah,
Yeah.
7. Okay, Ken,
I'll give him an 8. He was the only one that I think can, at this time, understand that can fit into Amorim's style of play. Very confident on the ball. When the ball's in the air, he can bring it down, control it, pass the ball. He didn't
yeah,
panic at all. I think he's very
Yeah.
steady, very good on the
And he
ball,
didn't
very
take shit from
reliable.
Delap as well, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone that hasn't played centre back, yeah, definitely, I'll give him
But
an 8.
Delap is what a number 9 should be doing. He should be harassing the defense. And Mazraoui, squared up to him.
Mm. Yeah.
well, I would say harass, but not assaults, because that's what he did to
He
Mazraoui.
gave
And
him
so
a
unfortunate
push,
he
a
wasn't.
little push.
He gave him a
Yeah,
push. No,
yeah.
that wasn't a push. That wasn't a
But
push.
there was
Right
momentum.
in New York,
Yeah,
right? Like in New York, if you do that to somebody, like
yeah.
that's a wrap. That's a wrap. It's going down. Like I don't like he put his forearm on his neck
Yeah,
and
but
he mushed him. Nah,
I mean, I didn't see that, but
I'm just.
They were both
You
running
didn't
at
see
pace.
that.
Mazraoui got to the ball first. He was running at pace, and then he gave him a little push to topple him over.
A little push. But
But
listen,
there's
if I
momentum
was
there. The guy's
Mazraoui
running
and I saw,
fast. He's
listen,
running like a Maserati.
if I'm Mazraoui and I saw that
Yeah.
replay, I'm waiting for dude Dunlap or whatever the fuck his name is in the parking lot. Nah, I'm waiting for him at his car, man. No. I don't understand
Then
that.
that's £100,000 fine.
I'll take it. I bet you'll never do that again.
2 week suspension. Anyway,
Bems, what do you have for Mazraoui? Bems is still. Oh, he's still. Yeah. Okay, he's good.
Can you guys hear me?
It's
Yeah,
fine.
we
It's
can
fine.
hear
Don't
you.
worry.
Yeah. Okay, so Mazwari, I think I don't think I'll give Mazwari a 6. I'll give him a 6. He wasn't bad. It was good. It was just okay.
Okay. Delit. Vim.
he did his job. 7.
7. Ken.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. He was a steady Eddie today. He didn't do anything special. There was some moments where he looked a bit like when he stepped out. I think he got spun a few times, but steady Eddie 6.5. I'd say 6.5, 6.
It's a tough role for him, though. He's the central centre back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure there, being that central centre back. I think
I think maybe bringing in Lenny Euro.
Yes.
At his right side.
Yeah.
Would help him a bit more because of the pace.
Yeah.
Bems?
Martinez on the left, right? Yeah.
Or Martinez. Yep. Yeah, and definitely Martinez on left. Bems, the lit.
The lit, I'll give him a 6.
6. Same here. 6.5 for me. Johnny Evans.
I mean, for me, he always puts in a lot of effort. He's always out there. He's feisty. He's a feisty defender, which I like.
Yeah. But
after hearing what Ruben's thoughts were, is that he didn't step into certain players when he should have. He held back. So for that, it's 6.5.
6.5. I would say same things, about 6.5. But I do feel Johnny Evans he's of a different breed, and I feel like he's got the pedigree to make those adjustments. I'm confident that Johnny Evans has there are other players that if the manager says stuff about like that they wouldn't turn around and be more progressive and positive. But
Yeah.
I think Johnny can. I think Johnny
Johnny
can definitely
cares
handle
about
it.
our club as well. He's definitely not a fraud,
Yeah.
and he will
Oh,
out
yeah.
them.
Definitely
He
not a
He's
cares. He
fraud.
gonna give
No,
us
cares
no,
about
no.
the club.
He's
Yeah.
definitely not on the fraud list. Yeah,
Yeah.
So Ken, same thing.
yeah, I think I'll give him a 6. Yeah, 6. I mean, first half he was pretty decent. I think second half, kind of tired. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll give
Bems,
him a 6. Yeah.
okay, 6. Bems, Johnny Evans rating
6. 6.
6. Moving over to the midfield. On the left, Diego Dalot. Bem,
Is he
So
playing on the left side?
sorry, Joe.
I thought he's right wing back.
Is Diogo on the fraud list as well? Because I think he's
yes.
on that
Over
list. Yeah.
the last 5-6 games, Diego
Like
has
sometimes
been
he plays well, you're like, wow. Sometimes you see him, it's like, dude,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm getting in the last 5 games, I've gotten all Mateos Damian vibes with Dalot. Just Damian, just like brain dead, just completely brain dead. Right? He lost the ball so many times. I like the manager, like Ben said, I need to go back and watch that press conference, but stating that how Dalot was out of position. A lot of times he tried to give the Ganacho the ball when he was. They just weren't. Even when he passed and got rid of the ball, they weren't good passes. You know, like the opponents had to. His fellow players had to do too much work. You
Yeah,
know,
basically,
it just seemed
I
like
don't think you can trust him in the biggest of
not
games. Like you don't
not
know
on the
what.
Yeah,
left side.
he had a chance on goal today, didn't he?
I
Again,
think
he had a chance on goal, didn't he? Today,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
he fluffed
It
that
was
again.
Casemiro
shit.
played him
Yeah,
through.
scuffed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so what would you rate him? What would you rate? What's the rate? What's the rate?
Ben, I'm sorry, Vim, you go first.
So look, yeah, I mean, it's interesting you mentioned about the fraud list. I don't know about Delo. I don't know. I think he might have been on the fraud list for ETH. I don't know if he's going to be on the fraud list for Ruben. So
What's
I
a
think
fraud? Always a
I'm
fraud.
unsure about him. Huh? No,
Once a
but
fraud.
I don't think I think he gave up on the system, but I don't think he's going to give up on Ruben. I think he's going to try. So I think we might see an improvement in him. You know, also being
You know,
Portuguese, I think he's
frauds try
yeah,
not to be frauds as well, you know.
yeah. So I think he might not try to be a fraud now.
Rashford
I
today.
think he might learn the error of his ways and think, I don't want to be a fraud anymore. I'm going to
Okay.
try.
That's
I
the
think he might
remix.
exit the fraud list.
I don't want to be a fraud no
Yeah,
more.
exactly. That's it. So I
Okay.
think for today, 5. Yeah.
Okay,
He
5 for
didn't
him.
do anything spectacular. Yeah.
Ken?
Yeah, I'll give him a 5. He could do a lot. He could do a lot better. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We've seen
Like,
him do better.
we've seen him play at AC Milan. We've seen him play well on the left side. He can even use his left foot. You know, no crosses came. The biggest issue today was no crosses.
No
Funny how we
crosses.
scored the first goal from a cross. After that, we stopped crossing.
It's
All the
That
top,
tells
mad, isn't
me
it?
that was not part of the game plan.
yeah, all the top teams, Arsenal,
Our goal was a complete one-off.
yeah, all the
It
goals.
wasn't because we didn't see
Yeah,
that.
we can get so many goals from crosses. This is because we don't have a striker. We don't have a clinical striker. We need to cross the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll give him a 5. Yeah.
Bems?
Especially with 2 strikers, you've got to cross the ball.
Got to.
Yeah. I
Bems Dalot?
for Dalot, I'll give Dalot a 5. I won't necessarily put him on a fraud list. I don't think Dalot's a fraud. I just think yeah, he was poor, but I think a lot of it wasn't all on him. I think there were a lot of times where there are a number of times where the players weren't showing up for him for that outlet pass. Yes, he did misplay some of those passes sometimes, but I expected a lot more from the midfield. And Garnacho coming like opening up a lot more. So he has options. The main option he had was just who was it, Johnny Evans a lot of times. And it seemed
Yeah.
like from what I
He
like
loved
what
him
Joe
some Johnny
said,
Evans.
Yeah, yeah, he kept getting, but it seemed like from the game plan, for what I saw, I mean, Delo wasn't really getting forward. Like, what's his name? Like, Diallo.
Yeah,
It seemed like he wasn't really, he wasn't really supposed to get forward and make a lot of those crosses. I think the crosses was, as far as crossing. It was more on people like maybe like Bruno to find that space there, make a cross, or maybe Garnacho if he's on that side, make the cross. I don't think a lot of it was on him. He wasn't great. He didn't play extremely well, but it wasn't all on him, in my opinion. But yeah, like a five. He could have done better.
same for me. Five. Moving on to Christian Eriksen, midfield.
Oh
Let's
God.
run through it with these guys.
Yeah.
The fraud list.
Fraud list.
Fraud list.
He
Fraud
should.
Alright.
He's not a
coming up.
fraud. He should be on the fraud list. He needs
The
to.
fraud database.
He's on the fraud database. He's on the Interpol database. He was terrible for me today. Two. I think he failed his. I think he failed his audition today.
He's done.
Ken?
Yeah, two or three.
Two?
If I'm feeling happy, I'll give him a three. Yeah,
Bems?
I'll give him a three. Yeah,
Three?
it was poor.
Yeah, I'll probably give him a three because just there was. I don't know if it's because of the play kept him out of the game. I didn't know how much that his inability to be effective was caused by us or just Ipswich doing like because something changed after that first goal where we just like midfield wise we weren't getting the ball to our midfielders at all. So next midfielder Casemiro. Let's go with Ken this time.
Yeah, Casemiro, I felt like he missed his buddy Ugarte today. The last three games, him and Ugarte have really been crunching hard in that midfield. And I think if we had Ugarte today, maybe the first half, maybe we wouldn't have conceded that goal. I don't know. But that goal was actually him not getting close to his man. That
Yeah.
shot that Hutchinson scored. I think if he pressed, if he got just a few yards, and this is what Amorim's been saying as well, fitness, just a couple of yards can stop a shot. Get in
Yeah.
front of him. He takes the shot, you block it. You go in at halftime 1-0, re-strategize, come in second half. It could be a different team. Bring in Ugarte, we would have maybe got out with a win or 1-0 win or even get another go. But to concede a goal so late in the first half is criminal, and he should have done a lot better there. But having said that, he had Ericsson next to him, so playing with Ericsson is especially away from home. Is you're working overtime basically. You're doing more or less two-man job. Probably give him a six. Yeah.
6. Bems? Casemiro.
Oh, Casemiro, man. Casemiro, I'm gonna have to give Casemiro I'm gonna have to give Casemiro like a 4.5, man. A 4.5 or even a four. He wasn't good. He wasn't good in that midfield at all. He was one of the reasons why we were getting played through so easily. He wasn't good at all. I'll say a four. My
I would say
opinion.
I would say he wasn't the main reason. We had other midfielders in there. But yeah, bank average, that just like a 5. I would say. Amad Diallo, midfield.
I haven't given my rating.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I think he was below average today. Yeah, he was below average today. But like the others have said, I think he's missing his partner Garte, and he needs someone solid by him to allow him to do his thing because he can pull out a great pass, but he just had to do too much cleaning up work because Eriksen was totally ineffective. So 4.
And as far as midfield, Ahmad, let's go with Bems this time.
Oh, Ahmad?
Yeah.
That dude, man. That dude's special, man. He's a special guy. I'll give Ahmad 7.5, man. That guy was good. Sweet. Love the guy.
Vim?
I give him an 8 because that opening goal, that the way he got through those two players, one tried to slide and take him out, the other one gave him a little shove,
Yeah.
but he showed determination. And the way Garnacho used to be in the beginning, he's an exciting player, and I feel that way about Ahmad now, that he's got the limelight. He's the
Yeah.
exciting player in our team. When the ball comes to him, you think, no, something's going to happen, and the star shines brightly for him. So yeah, for me, he's an 8. The only problem is that I think a couple of times that he was showing off a little bit. I think he tried to do a back pass to another player along the
Went
sideline,
straight
and
out.
just straight out.
Straight
Yeah,
out.
and he's
Straight
right
out.
next to Ruben, and Ruben looked pissed,
Yeah.
thinking he didn't need to do that. So
He
those
had
little
gotten the
things,
ball back like pretty well too. Right.
yeah,
And then he's just like, no.
yeah. But
Yeah.
with Ruben, he said it before that the team's given away the ball too much, and if you do something silly like that because you're
Yeah.
showing off, that's not really thinking about what the manager is looking out for. So you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
8. He's an exciting player at the moment.
We seem to have a pandemic of right wingers showing off and then just tossing the ball out of bounds. I believe Anthony did it
Hopefully he doesn't
earlier.
spin around. He doesn't start spinning around.
Yeah, no spin around. Ken, what would you give Ahmad?
I'll give him a 7 because he's had a really good first 10 minutes. But after that, I think the Ipswich guys kind of doubled up on him, and that kind of put him off. I
Oh,
expected him to keep going, keep
yeah.
going, keep taking him on, and he's skillful as well. He knows that if you can get
Very.
past players and set up an assist in the first minute, why did you stop doing that? Just carry on, let the fullback come, Mazraoui tried to come, or just try keep good. He did it, I think, in the second half. Remember when he cut in and then he took a shot? That shot was going in, by the way,
That
and he
was
got
going
blocked.
on.
Yeah, I think that was going in. He got blocked, so he just needed to do that a bit more. But I think with time that will come. He's an Amorim type of player. Remember that? What's that guy in Sporting? That's his name starts with a Q or something. That we're trying to. I think we've been linked with him as well. The 17-year-old that set up Gyökeres and when they played City. Anyway, he's very similar. So I think, yeah, he's an Amorim type player. So yeah, hopefully he can.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a solid 8, not only because of what I saw offensively, but defensively. Ahmad, like he was making tackles and blocks and pressing. And I was thinking, oh, wait a minute, isn't Masraoui supposed to be there? Like he was definitely did a great job on our right side defensively. Just completely. I'm Ken Kenneth
Yep.
Kenneth of Londonshire. I will be the first to tell you the omission of Ahmad Diallo into this first team, to me, was what broke me from Eric Ten Hag, because
it wasn't part of his algorithm.
It is clear that this individual he's a talent.
Yeah.
And that was, out of all of his mistakes, regardless of keeping Rashford, starting Rashford and starting Bruno, not changing the way they play, the omission of Ahmad, that was completely inexcusable. And he's showing us right now. All right, moving to the front, let's go with Bruno on the right side.
Shall I start?
Yeah, you're gonna give me.
Yes.
No, I cannot. I can't give him a 9 because I don't think he should be playing there. He's, like we talked about before, he creates stuff from deeper into the pitch, so not at the front. I know he can score goals, and he did in the first season, but he just looked out of place playing in that right of 3. Yeah. So for me today, he was a 4 or 5.
Ken?
Yeah, I think I'll give him a 5. He huffed and puffed. Didn't really do anything special. He still tried a few Hollywood passes. Some of them came off, but that's just Amorim didn't like it. Um, even whilst it made us look like we were going to counter with Garnacho, but yeah, it's not the ideal way to play football because we'll always get exposed. Yeah, he didn't. He tried. So five, steady five.
35. Dems?
Yeah, I'll give him a 5 or 4.5. He wasn't 5 is okay. Yeah, he still lost the ball a few times. I mean, yeah, he wasn't great. 5.
I'm gonna go ahead and give Mr. Bruno Fernandes a 4 because speaking of the fraud list, no. You get graded higher when you are on the list. And Bruno Fernandes is on the list.
Really?
So I'm going to give this
For you?
gentleman
He's on the fraud list.
He's
Wow.
definitely on the list. He's definitely on the list. The only way any of our managers, right, there are 3 players, I would say. Let me say 2. 2 main players. There are 2 main players that I would say, if they don't change the way they look at football or the way they play the game of football, if they don't add more to their game, right? Note this team, the team that they're currently in. I don't know if they could be successful elsewhere, but with this team will not be successful if they don't change their game, because I feel 2 players in particular. One has not been rated yet. Rashford and Bruno.
Yep.
They
totally
cost this team way too much, and I'm done with it. I'm done with it. We cannot. If we run the stats, right? There's got to be a correlation between games lost, right, and the amount of times that Bruno loses the ball. There's got to be, man. I'm gonna look for it. I ain't got it right now. There's got to be. This team is unable to kick off. We are unable to sustain possession, sustain pressure, sustain our style of play, because it is always broken. Because there was one particular pass today that upset me so much. Bruno received the ball. Garnacho was darting the left wing. Was it Garnacho or Rashford? Anyway, it was one of our wingers, right? Bruno, all he had to do was then receive the ball and kick it with the inside of his foot, which would have led to a more accurate pass to his player. Bruno went with the outside of which, like, considering his position, was the wrong pass. It was the wrong way to make that pass, right? So because he did it with the outside, the ball actually curled into the defender. Telling me this guy does not care about football. This guy is Hollywood. I have never seen somebody so, like I said, like I've said in other reds.
That's what people say. He treats the football like a grenade. Oh, get rid of
Listen,
it.
Bruno is a Harlem Globetrotter. He's a Harlem Globetrotter. I don't know. I don't know if you guys know about the Harlem Globetrotters in England. They're actually on tour in England right now. They're basically showmen. They're like it's all like he's a TikTok footballer. He only plays for TikTok, right?
Yep.
And that to me, he's listen.
Vim's raging.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not.
Am I wrong? Am I off?
I'm trying to remember this pass.
Hollywood
Was it
Bruno.
first or second half?
I believe it was the second half. Oh man, I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it and I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, no, he does do this. He does make bad decisions sometimes with his pass. I think his execution sometimes goes wrong. I think his intention is there, but his execution is wrong.
You know who I'd like?
If the,
Arsenal
the
probably
intention should be to get the ball to your player.
Yeah,
Right?
I think he has enough football intelligence to realize where the ball should be for a player. You know, which is his receiving foot. Where do you want the ball? Do you want it in front of the left? Do you want it on the left of his left? Do you want it on the front of his right? You know, every player should know that other players, when they get to know them, where they like to receive the ball. Do they want to receive it at pace? Do they like to receive it on their chest? Do they like to receive their feet? You know this by playing with players, and he has plenty of football intelligence to know where a player wants the ball, wants to receive it, how he wants to receive it. Does he want to receive it on a run? Does he want to receive it 3-4 yards ahead of him? Like, you know, like a player who's got some speed, like Garnacho. I just think his execution doesn't always work.
Because his execution is always Hollywood. He only wants to
I
make.
don't think he does it
only wants to
though.
make that pass. That there's no way. There is no way you play football.
Bruno. Bruno is what he is, man. He does the same. He's been doing the same thing since the first day he debuted for United. Yeah. He gives the ball away too easily. He always wants to go for that. Like, I don't. It's like he can't. Bruno can't keep it simple. He just can't keep it simple. He's been doing it from day one, and it's who he is.
He does keep it simple sometimes.
No, well, the thing is, he doesn't keep it. No, Vim, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Vim, you must not care. Do you care about Ruben Amorim?
I think
do you care for this new manager?
I think Bruno has a range of passes. He does a simple pass where just, you know, a simple 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 to make the defenders or other players move. And then he has a long range pass, which we don't think he's terribly great at all the time because he has really thin legs. But he has the vision. I think he's got better vision than other players. I think he's got a whole repertoire of passes and range of passes in his locker.
I've only seen one player in a Manchester United jersey that tried those Hollywood passes and made it 8 times out of 10. And that's Paul Pogba.
Thank you.
We have Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes would have made
probably, yeah.